more wide stage against Claudio here. So you'll notice an icon right next to the heat gauge. This kind of signifies different things for different characters. In Claudio's case, it signifies the heat burst, right? Or with Brian, maybe the snake eyes. And so this is going to be included in the update in end of February or early March to kind of show the abilities that each character has in the match. All right, let's get started with Eddy. So you all are probably pretty familiar that Eddy's a staple of the series for 25 years now. But one of the kind of key concepts in the development of the character this time is new capoeira. So he's his fight style has been completely revamped for this time. So even the Jinga, you can see the footwork. It just feels more like solid and actually sticking to the ground than it was before. So there's kind of a unique story to this actually. There's a development member called Sasamori who actually started learning capoeira when he saw Eddy for the first time, back in the day. And so he's actually been teaching capoeira for the past 16 years. That's how good he's gotten. And he is well known in Japan especially, and he actually did the motion capture for Eddy.
そうだ、その笹森はそもそも笹森の師匠はエディだからね。そうなんです。エディ、鉄拳3のエディを見て衝撃を受けて彼は
マルセロさん
カポエロを始めて、だからエディが師匠だから。
はい。So it's like his teacher's Eddy kind of, because that's where he started from.
で一個ずつ
his teacher, yeah.
でまず逆立ち、バナネイラっていう技なんですけども、セブンから大きく変わった点は逆立ちの方向を見てください。セブンは、相手の方向ではなく後ろを見てましたが、前向きの逆立ちになってます。
So if you can see the handstands changed, it was facing the other direction up until 7, but from 8, he's actually facing his opponent now.
で逆立ちのまま前方向を維持して前進できるようになりました。
You can actually move forward while staying in the handstand.
前方向の逆立ちとあと後ろに避ける逆立ち、この2つが追加されて結構機動力がアップしてます。
And so you can actually kind of evade your opponents in kind of reverse direction as well. So you can see he's much more mobile than before.
はい、で主に逆立ちは攻めの起点で、多くの新技や新連携を追加しています。
And that's kind of like one of his starting points for his offense. And he's had several new techniques added from there.
こんな感じで逆立ちからこう座りに移行できる技が追加されたり、パワークラッシュだったり、
And new animations to transition from handstand to
連携から座りに行けたりします。
right? And then different sequences of attacks, also a new power crash.
はい、で続いて2つ目の構えがこの座りネガチーバですね。
And then negativa, the relaxed position.
で構えであり避けの回避としても使う構えになっていて、座りも実は前入れで座りを維持したまま相手に近づけるようになってます。
なんか MMA ファイターみたいな。
はい。
So negativa, is a transition that gives you access to other techniques, but also is a good way to kind of like evade opponents' attacks as well.
はい。
Not only that, but in negativa, you can now kind of move forward in that stance.
で座りは、先ほどの逆立ちが攻めの起点で、座りは崩し要素で相手を崩すことができるのがこの座りの構えになってます。
So if the handstand is kind of like your starting point to your offense, negativa, the relaxed position is kind of like a way to open up your opponent.
こう下段からの、クリーンヒットでダウンが取れる下段が追加されて、エディがパワーアップするといったような新要素が入ってます。
So it has lots of low attacks. He also, if he does a clean hit from one of those low attacks, it actually knocks down the opponent and gives him kind of a buff.
はい。でこのパワーアップは後で説明しますが、カポエイラの中で有名なマンジンガっていう秘術だったり魔術といったようなこう結構異名を持つマンジンガっていうものが追加されています。
And so the power up is kind of Nakatsu is going to explain in a bit more detail, but it gives him access to the Manjingo. It's like a kind of like a spiritual capabilities, I guess you could say.
はい、で次にやっぱカポエイラを見直すにあたって派手で楽しい技を追加したいっていうところでダイナミックな動きを、いくつも追加しました。代表的なのがこのハーボジアハイヤですね。
And so, some of the thinking behind the revamping of the style was to make it even more like over the top and stand out in the dynamic animations. One of the major techniques he's just showing off right now is one of them.
はい、あと、シャンゴーっていうこういうちょっと中間距離で胴抜きやポンケンといった似たような使い方ができる技が追加されてます。
And this brand new move that he's doing now is kind of like using a Phoenix Smasher for Paul, in the sense that it's from kind of a mid-range attack that's quite strong.
はい、であとはエディ待望のやっぱ鉄拳8はアグレッシブが、キーワードな、ゲーム性なので、初めてエディがスラッシュキックを搭載してます。
And since Tekken 8, the nature is supposed to be aggressive gameplay, offensive, etc., this is the first time Eddy gets a slash kick.
でガード時逆立ちに行けるのでスラッシュキックから逆立ちの攻めだったりを継続することができます。
And so you can actually go from handstand, from a slash kick into the handstand to continue up your offense.
はい。であとはやっぱり、エディ使いっていうのは結構カジュアルな人も多く使ってますので、その蹴り連打、左キック右キック連打で、楽しくそのカポエイラの独特の動きを体験できるように左キック連打でこう逆立ちに行ってさらに座りに行って下段で崩せるみたいなこういう流れるような攻めが展開できるようになってます。
And so, since we realized that a lot of people are really attracted to Eddy when they're first picking up Tekken, especially, we wanted to make him very accessible. So, simply pressing repeatedly the left attack transitions him to handstand attacks and then through to negativa. So, it's quite easy to do all these kind of over-the-top capoeira actions.
はい、右キックも同様にこういう感じでカポエラの特徴である踊ってるように戦うようなアクションができるようになってます。
And so repeatedly pressing the right kick will do as Nakatsu is doing now, where it's kind of like a capoeira dance-like motion. It's very fluid.
はい、なんで初めて、遊ぶ方でも非常に楽しくかつカポエラらしく戦えるようにリニューアルしました。
So we just wanted to make him very easy to pick up and play and still get that feeling of capoeira even for beginner players.
はい、で最後3つ目の要素が先ほど説明したマンジンガっていう、パワーアップ要素ですね。
So, and then obviously one of the new features, the Manjinga to power up.
はい、この1っていう数字が出てる時がマンジンガレベル1っていう状態になります。
So when 1 appears, that means that that's like level 1 of the Manjinga.
でマンジンガがたまると、攻めの起点だった逆立ちに崩しの要素が追加されます。
And this means that he has new options to kind of open up his opponent from the handstand.
逆立ちから下段の攻撃が出て、崩しが強くなります。
So even from the handstand, he has access to low attacks that help open up the opponent.
でマンジンガは、ラウンド間は継続するので、ラウンド中はそのマンジンガレベルが下がることはありません。
And so the level of Manjinga actually, you keep that level throughout the round, so it's not like it goes away or is depleted in that round.
なんでレベル2まで貯めるともう逆立ちがかなり崩しとして非常に優秀な性能になります。
So if you can get up to level 2, then he's quite formidable with low attacks from handstand.
はい、で、こちらのレベルが0になる条件はラウンドが切り替わることです。
So the only way it goes back to 0 is when you begin a new round.
はい、っていった感じで、多彩な蹴り技とこのマンジンガを使って遊ぶのが今回のエディの特徴になります。
So Eddy's characteristic is really about using all these powerful kick attacks and also powering up so you can have access to those new techniques from Mazinga.